All right, everybody. So open up to questions for Henrik Rydström.
Henrik, what did you like tonight, and what do you think you're going to work on this week?
Clean sheet. It was good. I think overall we were. I mean, in the first half, I don't think they had a shot at goal. If you look at how we then conceded in the second half, it's. If you ask them, they probably say that okay, we had amazing build up, but if you ask, it's, cow or something. So, but I think it's like due to individual defending from our side, like long balls, we calculated it wrong, and it ends up like a kind of chance. And then the last situation where, and that is the things I'm not so happy with. That in the second half, like after maybe 50 minutes, we started to force. We started to play forward in situations where we shouldn't play forward. Even if I like that we have the ambitions to play forward, but and then you invite to that more open football, and now Patrick was good in those situations, and we could have the clean sheet. But I think that we were not calm enough. Like we didn't stick to the plan enough in the second half, or at least the last 20-25 minutes. But we were defensively solid, hard to break down. Then I over time we need to be better to press higher up and win the ball higher up. We need to look at that.
Okay. Henrik, what was your reaction to that kind of, last minute save? Just watching that from the sidelines.
Yeah, I mean, we played Portland in the first game, and we got out countered, and there were 2 goals against Kansas that we basically. I mean, if I will try to explain it, but you can lose the ball due to amazing press from the opponent, and you have no chance. They like boom, boom, boom against Kansas. 2 situations where we just give the opponent the ball, and we conceded. They were a little bit the same in a couple of situations in the second half. One is where I think it's Diego that shoots the ball in the back of Herrera, or if it's I don't know, and then it ends up like a counter attack. And the last one is we have the ball under control and try to play. Instead of trying to go around them and put the ball in, we try to break through in situations where it's too compact, and then it ends up in that situation. And the frustration in that is that you don't really understand how we take those decisions. The good part there is that it's only up to us. But overall, I think it was a good effort in these kind of situations where we stopped them and we could help Patrick to do the saves. So we're doing progress, but still we want to take those situations away totally.
It's funny because Patrick had such a quiet night in the first half because the defensive effort was there.
Yeah.
What was working, I guess, to put it simply?
And then I think we were good in having numbers behind the ball and a lot of bodies behind the ball. So when they break, I mean, now we have played 3 teams here and played Colorado and Nashville in friendly games. It's a lot of teams here. They commit a lot of plays in the build-up, so they have a lot of plays outside your shape, and the good part with that for us is that they have less numbers up front. So when they then maybe try to play into our penalty box, we have good possibilities to defend, and we did that today. The downside with that is that it can be difficult to press opponents higher up, and like I said, we need to look at that. But I was satisfied with how we defended low. We sometimes you just have to take your medicine, and it doesn't taste so good, but you will get healthy by it. So, and we took the medicine in those situations.
Coach, how do you feel as the home opener, your first like official league game, the atmosphere, the fans? How do you take that? What are your thoughts of like all the support?
Yeah, amazing. I think from when we arrived with the bus and or maybe like hours before also, and then when we arrived and everything from the warm up through the game and then after. So that support will help us a lot, and it helps us during the game also when we struggle. Then of course we want to give them a victory, and that, I mean, in the locker room the boys are really disappointed. We want to give them we want to give something back for that amazing support.
Just what do you think overall the team just through the first 3 matches they played so far?
Very tactically strong teams. I like to when I compare it with the European football, then of course it differs between the countries. But when, for example, when we played with Malmö in the European Cups, even like, if I call it the good teams in Europe, they don't put so much effort into the build-up. They focus more on the intensity and the direct play. So if you press them, they go longer. Then it's a second ball war. So I think the football had gone in that direction a little bit in Europe, but I like it here, and that because it asks you other questions. And like I started with, I'm not happy with the way and that's down to me, how we organize our press. We need to be better at that. I think also when you play with a back five, if you go back 3 years here in MLS, I don't think that teams were maybe that good in like, because what they do is they pin, they lock 5 players for us with 3 attacking players. So they put 2 wide players, and then they have a striker that sometimes drop. And if we stay with 5 and they just have 2 up here, then it's a numbers game. Then they have more players than us in the build-up, and that is something you need to like have a plan for and try to. You could do it with you could press with like Wes and Diego do an amazing job and take away options for them, and then we try to trap them. But we haven't done it good enough so far, and that is something you don't do so much in many European games. But I like it, so we would be better and better to press them. Otherwise, I must say it's high quality, a lot of good players. So the games are, I must say, they are fun. Fun to watch. Fun to coach in, and so far now we haven't won, but it will come, and if you take that away, it's been amazing.
You mentioned kind of the overall vibe of not pressing and creating those chances organically. In the first half, you had definitely some chances that were created without pressing organically, just the natural shot creation. What has to give now to convert on those shots to, in those opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, it's always difficult when you haven't seen the game again.
Yeah.
But like this feeling I have right now is that up to maybe 55, 60, we had like a great, maybe it was like in the beginning of the second half where we should have scored. And so far we really, because we could win the ball and we could attack, and when we had them deeper down, I think we made them a little bit tender with how we moved the ball, and they were close a couple of times. Maybe we crossed. We looked a little bit like a championship team in England. We crossed the ball a lot, and I mean, with West, you want to put the ball in, but it's also decision making. Should we put the ball in every time? But we created enough to be in the lead. I think also, I believe that you need to capitalize on those situations. You need to score when you have that kind of situations. Then we got a little bit tired, and then they could control the game without creating anything, and then that's the depressing part. Then I like us to be able to push up more, to be a little bit more brave when it's come to taking a step forward, to not stand with 5 in the backline. But I have to give the backline that they did the part when the opponents tried to break through us in the low block really good. So
Yeah.
I'm not happy, but in one way, sometimes, as I say, you have to take the medicine. Now I forgot what you asked about, but maybe
I just asked about actually converting those chances that you did create.
yeah. I mean, so then we didn't create enough last 20 minutes, but up to that point, I think it was good enough to win the game.
Let's take a couple more. Are we all set?
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
No, just one more.
Yeah.
I think you only made one sub, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Reasoning there.
Yeah. It's you see, it's a lot of like try to calculate. Okay, we do this and that, but how we thought about the situation on the bench, the coaching staff, what we could also have changed and start to play with the back four and put in like Jamal and to play with 2 strikers and go for the victory. Maybe basically my decision, maybe I was a little bit safe there because I believe that we controlled it defensively quite well on our own half. And when you change the dynamic, also change. That's what you look for, but it can go in the wrong direction also. Then player-wise, you want to have Wes and you want to have Diego. That doesn't mean that we doesn't have options, but I choose to keep them because I also know the quality they have. But yeah, of course, that could also maybe be the reason why we looked a little bit tired in the end, that we didn't put in. I don't know how many changes they did, but couple of more. So, but that was the reason behind. We put Hugo in and to get this injection and then drop Taha. But we didn't get anything out from that.
Great. Thanks, everybody.
Appreciate the time.
Thanks, everybody.